And we are back at WCG 2013, the Grand Finals. I'm Doa, with me is Monte Cristo. And if all the fates have aligned, then we are going to move into game number one between the yoeFW and MYM. Welcome to Summoner's Rift for the first time today where we haven't had a big delay. Well, never mind, we did have a big delay, didn't we? I already forgot about it. It was just so much fun. Hopefully the game lasts for more than 2 minutes this time.
Yeah, I like how we're seeing NL pick up the cleanse against the composition that MYM is running here, of course. Very focused on that CC, very focused on getting picks, actually, as well.
Yeah.
And if MYM, they're not really going to be able to, I would say, team fight that effectively, partially because they just don't have enough damage, sustained damage over the course of the team fight. But they're just so well suited to getting a pick. With the Dark Binding or with the Vi Ultimate, with the Cocoon, they've got single target damage in spades. Yeah. So that's how they should play this, looking for somebody to get out of position. And maybe they can contest early on a Dragon, about before 15 minutes, just with the pure strength of their AoE CC before the items really start to kick in here. But
yeah,
yoeFW, they've got a lot of CC as well coming out of Annie, coming out of Jarvan, so maybe a bit of a toss-up.
It's going to be some pretty intricate team fights. I mean, people are going to really need to watch their positioning on both sides. Really, I mean, it's going to be whoever gets that engage, you know, is going to be able to do it. Oh, man, are they going to...
Dangerous. There's an Annie with a stun right there. There are only 3 members, though. Renekton up in the top lane. But with Nidalee coming around the side, they may try something.
I don't think the Flash Wolves want to 3v4 that, even with the stun.
Yeah, if Nidalee had wrapped all the way down through the red buff, though, they may have been able to make a play.
Yeah. They could come in behind on this one, though. I mean, the thing is that
they're going
they know
for
they're
it.
there. Yeah, Sword Art walking up. Is he going to get the stun down? He's zoning, and they get the stun onto Mokate, who goes down. First blood taken immediately by the Flash Wolves, and they're going to try to claim that blue as well. Libic gets the grab, doesn't get the blue, though.
Yeah, but they do force the smite out of Huayun here, so he does pick up the blue buff at the cost of his smite, but with that first blood as well on
so
NL.
worth it.
And we were talking earlier, now NL and Sword Art at Worlds, they were a team that was able to hang in there with Piglet and Pumandu and even win lane in pretty much both of those games.
Wow,
so giving them that first blood is very, very dangerous.
Sword Art, speaking of dangerous, poking way too aggressively there. You saw him use his W. I think he was one off of his stun and thought he had it. Messed that one up a little bit, and he paid for it.
Well,
have to use some of those pots early.
They're walking up right now. Oh, and a missed.
Man,
Death
Sword Art
from Libic.
Sword Art is literally just playing with fire here, man. And I mean, that sounds ironic saying it about an Annie, but it's true.
Well, Kuban should have an easier time. We talked about this matchup a little bit earlier in this top lane.
Yeah.
Elise does have that edge, just with the ranged auto attack and the harass from her abilities early on.
Yep.
But we do see Mokate coming around here for a gank from behind. Will they be able to take out Stake? He's pushed up pretty far in the lane.
Yeah, Stake in a little bit of trouble here if Makame does want to come in. And actually, Stake a little bit wrapped up the Cocoon. Here comes Makate. Kuban throws out the spider. There's the repel. Stake flashes over the top, so they've got that at least. There's a slice. He will get away. They're going to be totally happy with that flash.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay in terms of ability use right there by MYM. It wasn't quite what they would have wanted in terms, but the repel was probably a little bit too early right there.
Yeah.
But they do get the summoner spell out of it, and that's going to force Stake to play back more towards his tower. He won't be able to aggressively push unless he really wants to open himself up to ganks. And now Huayun coming through, just doing a little bit of counter jungling, it looks like. And he's coming around right now. We're not taking a look at it, but it appears that Charu just going to back off. Now Charu, of course, running teleport. He runs teleport on all of his mid laners, has some similarities with some other of these EU mids, like Xpeke, who really prefer to have that extra presence in the lanes.
Yeah.
And it's good on Morgana, too, because with all of her CC, once she hits 6, if you can get behind somebody, you're pretty much guaranteed to pick up a kill or two.
Indeed. And there's that mid lane. Maple and Zaru trying to do what they can. Zaru hit that level 4 a little bit behind Maple, but not a huge deal there. The question is, you know, I was just going to say, you know, when is Makate going to pay some attention to that bot lane? And he's going down right now. Meanwhile, Huayun comes in, tries to get the combo, gets a flash out of Kuban, though.
Yeah, so both flashes now down up in that top lane.
Yeah.
However, Stake continually pushing forward here, and there we go. Take a look at the mid lane, but Looks like we did have a little bit of action, and
Wei-Yin
gets caught a little bit under the turret.
Yeah, Kuban popping up. Does he have a place to repel? He does, safely under the turret. Steak took a few hits there, but Kuban's got to be careful here.
Yeah, Makate coming up for the 2v2 now in the top lane. They really want to make sure this tower doesn't go down.
Yeah.
But not actually too much farm across the board right now for really any of the players. And NL has to use his cleanse in order to avoid that death sentence. Yeah. Libic lands a nice one on the AD carry right there.
Just when we were saying it's been action-packed, I mean, some more action happens, and that's meant a pretty low CS game. But so far, I mean, a pretty low kill game, too. Only that first blood taken by the Oi Flash Wolves so far.
Well, you can see there's a lot of caution coming into play here. Kuban, in fact, playing surprisingly cautious in the top lane, allowing the shove. But, you know, he doesn't have the greatest wave clear yet, and Renekton will be able to shove the lane harder if he wants to. It's just he has to make sure that he stays up in terms of CS in that situation.
Yeah, it may not be easy. A little bit of turret damage going to go down. Actually, no, the minion wave should get there just in time. And NL and Sword Art back in the bot lane. And now we do have Jungle coming down. Oh, the stun on Libic. He's a little bit trapped. Is this going to be another kill for the Flash Wolves? It may be. Peacemaker nearly takes him down, but he gets away. Dark Passage for Mackler, and the QE combo barely misses. William takes a hit from the turret. I cannot believe that Libic got out of that one.
That was a nice job by Libic there. Good coordination to get out. He flashed after he had the Dark Passage, so he got that extra distance for Mackler to travel as well. Nice little play. Does manage to escape with his life and keep things pretty darn even in the game so far.
And the armor from that shield is really the only thing that kept him from death there. Steak and Kuban duking it out in the top lane. Not a whole lot going on there. Maple and Saru, same thing. Saru managing to push that up a little bit. CS still fairly even across all the lanes.
Yeah, and pre-6-2, we could expect Italy just to get shoved in by Morgana pretty actively, considering she has that AoE clear. But now that Maple has hit level 6, he will have that Cougar stance at the very least to try and go in and do some of that AoE damage to clear the wave. Steak and Kuban continually trading here in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's just probably how it's going to go for pretty much the next 30 minutes.
A little bit of an interesting build by Kuban, actually. He went for double Dorans instead of going straight into a Haunting Guise, so he's not going to have as much damage in terms of burst, but he will have better potential to harass over time and constantly be a thorn in his opponent's side with the extra mana regeneration.
Well, I think he knows, too, that he doesn't want to be the first person to back in lane. It looks like he will be anyway. And so that means that Steak is going to get a little bit of extra XP, a little bit of a CS lead. And as the Elise, you know, you want to be kind of causing that to happen for the Renekton, not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell how this matchup has gone exactly, but Kuban has delayed his ability really to chunk Steak right now. He doesn't have a lot of kill potential as Steak goes back and picks up a Ruby Crystal.
Huh, okay. Well, that is one step closer to the Haunting Guys, I suppose, so it'll also give him a little bit more health in lane, which isn't bad.
And Steak here, he's going to be going for a Spirit Visage first.
Yeah.
Looks like he wants to do a long-term lane against Elise right here. Not too interested in the extra damage from the team fight. That'd be coming in. But against a double AP composition, that it does, of course, make sense. Mackler has been able to get a little more farm in lane, but with the first blood going over to NL, we're looking at approximately even play so far.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting to see because he really needs NL to shut down Mackler in lane in order to maximize the benefit from that Spirit Visage. At least the Spirit Visage first.
True enough. NL and Sword Art coming back into the bot lane, as we can see on the mini-map. Meanwhile, the top lane, Kuban finally getting that turret pushed a little bit farther. We'll see how long he can sustain it, though. It's really all about this bot lane.
Yeah, NL has fallen surprisingly far behind in terms of CS, but he was pushing up early on. So a little bit more difficult for him to CS if it was frozen back at the other wave, or CS safely with the threat of the jungler.
Well, it really seems like MYM wants to make a play for Dragon here soon. They've got all their lanes pushing. If they can just get a few people to have to recall, they might be able to go for it. The thing is that right now the Flash Wolves have vision control over Dragon, so they're going to need to deal with that first as well.
If I was MYM right now, I would really, like you're saying, Doa, be looking for this early Dragon. They need that particular advantage in this situation just because this maximizes their CC early on, right? They don't have a lot of AP yet, they don't have a lot of items, but neither does do the Flash Wolves. So at this point, CC is really going to be king, and there's not really a lot of ways the Flash Wolves will be able to contest unless they can get a significant amount of poke in advance. So shoving, setting up for that, gaining at least that vision control back should be number one on MYM's radar.
Looks like it didn't work so far, though. They weren't able to quite push all the pressure on there, and now the Flash Wolves actually have their lines pressed up. So,
oh, here comes the teleport.
Yeah, that's right. Teleport coming down to that bot lane. Zaru coming in with Morgana. Can they make something happen? The stun goes down. Timbers locking up Malker for a minute, or Mackler rather. Wei-Yin comes in, misses that QB combo onto Zaru. There's a Cataclysm, traps up Libic and Zaru. Sword Art on the outside, and now trying to do as much damage as he can. Peacemaker comes through, helps Maple pick up that kill, and now NL going into the river for more victims. Sword Art in the middle, just trying to stun, trying to CC as much as he can. Actually doesn't make it up, but they'll go ahead and trade 1 for 1 at the end of that fight. So all in all, 2 for 2 in the team fight.
Ooh, dangerous. Mackler nearly gets hit by a spear. So in that team fight right there, Charu did overstay his welcome, and Makate was late. Now a heal from Maple did almost save Sword Art, couldn't get it, but you trade that support for a jungle, you're going to be okay for that. Okay with that, because that gives you control over the dragon inherently. Once you have that downtime.
By Vi, Maple in the back, NL trying to do a lot of damage. Look at that stun, they lock up everybody, and Mackler not making out a double kill for Maple. And that turned out big for the Flash Wolves.
Difficult to tell who actually got the dragon there. I believe it was actually MYM.
It was MYM,
They managed to sneak the dragon, so it wasn't the worst. Now, their ults were down at the start of that fight, so that's why it was a good time for the Flash Wolves to take the dragon.
Yeah.
And now the Flash Wolves immediately group up, head to the mid lane with their siege composition. Maple actually gets cocooned under the turret after landing a spear, so he will take a couple of turret shots.
Oh, they get the
parting
turret.
spear for the road.
Yeah, worth it. So, not the dragon, but they do get a couple kills spread out among their team. They do get 2 turrets here. Still 0 turrets for MYM, and that's led to a little bit of an advantage for the Flash Wolves so far. Not a big advantage, but a little bit of one.
But the thing about the Flash Wolves right now is that as long as that Morgana flash is down, they're going to have a lot of opportunities to siege right here because they really need that for the engage. So they have a pretty long timer in between times that MYM can fight effectively, and they can take advantage of that and just siege all day and use the Annie stun for a counter engage if necessary.
True enough. So, Zaru has to back off a little bit. Swayan comes in. Kuban gets locked up in the top lane. Timbers with the stun. They get the flash out of Kuban. One more hit from NL should do it. Can they get it? Oh, the long-range Peacemaker barely catches him.
Yep.
Hopefully somebody actually got to see that.
Indeed. All right, so Mackler still back in the mid lane. Stake here, split pushing away. Libic coming in from behind, though.
Mackler missed that slow, though. Stake coming in with the slice and dice. There's a dominance pop. He's going to try to trade one. There's the play. They knock him back a little bit, but Mackler's so low. Look at that Stake locked up with the death sentence. Can he close onto Mackler? Another slice and dice is going to do it. The cooldown almost on. A nice play again from Thresh. Libic doing everything he can to get away. Jumps right into the enemy team, but he may have actually saved Mackler. Has he actually done it?
He has. And look at that. Stake gets hit by the ultimate for Morgana, and it's not quite enough. Will he actually be able to get it? Yes, he does.
Wow, they traded. Zaru giving his life to take down Stake.
And that was not worth the Morgana ultimate right there at all.
They could have just backed off.
Ultimately, it was an even trade, and you used a major cooldown to try and stop Stake. So Stake also showing how much magic resistance and how tanky he is already against this double AP. He's going to be impossible, really, for MYM to stop pretty darn soon.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, things already looking really dangerous for MYM.
Yeah, the Flash Wolves coming in here using a pretty standard meta composition and looking strong while doing it.
Yeah. Sure enough, Wakata taking a little bit of damage from the turret and from NL.
Wow, look at that.
His Peacemakers have just been dead on all game.
Yeah, NL also getting very close to finishing his Infinity Edge right now.
Yeah.
So he's going to hit a pretty nice power spike soon enough. Makate and Kuban trying to retreat out of the lane, but the turret advantage hugely in favor of the Flash Wolves right now. And with their kind of composition, with their ability to siege, MYM is in a very scary place.
Yeah. It's going to be really tough to come back. They really need to have some very, very good team fights. But with losing the control, losing the map control that you end up doing without from losing those first 3 turrets, it's going to be really hard for them to set up any situations to get those team fights.
Well, one of the things about the MYM composition is you have to be so careful when you use those cooldowns because they are incredibly reliant on the ultimates from Vi, Morgana, and Varus to have a successful team fight. And without those up, or if they use those incorrectly, they're going to be at a significant disadvantage for several minutes following until they manage, and they need all 3 of them to successfully engage and to clean up. And it takes a lot of coordination to use a composition like this, but MYM, I feel, is being a little bit too reckless with their cooldowns early on.
It does kind of seem that way, doesn't it? Well, retreating back into their own jungle is Mackler and Makata. And Wayan with that Oracles now is going to be able to help them keep that vision control.
Yeah.
Dragon's going to be up in just a minute.
Yeah.
Wayan, oh.
Yeah, Wayan is setting up for that nicely. But if we look at the item difference right now, I mean, NL, it's a Bloodthirster versus an Infinity Edge right now, so NL has a substantial lead. He managed to catch up and bridge the gap in terms of that CS, and now he's also got the kill and assist advantage and the global gold advantage as well.
Oh, yeah.
He is terrifying. Caitlyn has hit a large power spike at the moment.
Yeah, and you can be sure they're going to use it. It's just in time for that second dragon to come up. Only 30 seconds away now, and you can tell MYM knows how important this dragon is.
They have to take it. It's really their only chance. Even though they don't have any vision control, even though the lanes are all pushed up around them, they're between a rock and a hard place right now.
Ace and Low gets blocked. There's a QE combo coming in. Nice Cataclysm traps up 3 members, and the Timber stun. On top of it, a great engage from the Flash Wolf, but Maple in the meantime gets dived on in the back. Can MYM turn this around? So far it's 1 for 1. A kill getting taken by Mackler. Vi on the run, Mokata trying to get back in position to jump onto Maple. There's the shutdown. Huiyin comes in with the knocker from the QE combo on Jarvan. They get over the top. Meanwhile, Zaru gets taken down by NL in the back. And slowly but surely, the Flesh Wolves taking apart MYM. And they're going to be able to claim that dragon.
Yeah, or they're just going to push straight onto the turret right here, too, because
yeah,
this Caitlyn has extremely high damage. They stopped the recall from Makate as well. Nice use of the Jarvan standard right there.
Yeah, they're just going to take the turret. And the thing is they can probably still grab Dragon on their way out, too.
Yeah, we'll see if they're bold enough to do that. You know what's impressed me so far this game, though, is Sword Art's anti-play. He has landed several, not only with his Timbers, but he landed a really nice Flash W earlier to stun 3 also. He's been setting up these he's been setting up these fights beautifully.
Yep. Well, there's going to be a Dragon attempt by the Flash Wolves. Can they do it? They have to maybe back off this a little bit. The health a little bit too low. Limit coming in. There's a nice big play from him as well. Wayan jumping onto Kuban. Kuban's so low already. They do get the Dragon, and now the disengage. Kuban flashes ahead, tries to get the kill onto Wayan, doesn't end up working out, and Stake trapped in the Dragon Pit. Oh, man, but the spears over the top from Maple finally going to get that slice cooldown.
Yeah, just too dangerous. They couldn't actually go after Stake right there because there were the spears and the Peacemakers coming in. And with the Caitlyn autos as well, now that she's finished the Zeal, just too high of a chance of getting chunked.
It just shows you how locked down the Flash Wolves have this game right now. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that MYM can do. I mean, they just lost another tier 2 turret. They lost Dragon again. The gold lead is starting to get very, very worrisome. And it's not just that. It's the ability of the Flash Wolves to be able to get those engages that they've been getting all game. I mean, if you're MYM, how in the world do you start a team fight against this team?
I mean, you just need those ults up and you need those summoners up. Honestly, right now, what Charu, I think, should be building, the most important thing he can provide is actually consistent engage and getting an early distortion enchantment on his boots that will lower the cooldown of both his flash and his teleport would help his team out a lot because the more often those summoners are up, the more plays he can make, the more picks he can make, and the better he can get into these team fights. So instead of that blasting one, I really would have liked to have seen a distortion enchantment instead. They need to rely on Makler, I think, right now to do the damage as well as Kuban and just turn Charu into the primary form of engage. And we actually have a pause.
Ah, we do. Yes, unfortunately. I mean, and another thing that we talked about earlier is that the damage from MYM is just a little bit on the low side. And as you can see over time in these fights, the damage just coming out more quickly than before.
Well, right.
I mean, distracted as a way in loss. But my point is that I was trying to make is that the damage for the Flash Wolves is just going to keep going up, keep getting scarier, and the damage from MYM is going to kind of
It'll plateau.
Yeah, plateau a little bit.
It will plateau because Morgana, of course, never really going to be, super high damage in this situation. So
Yep.
you got to worry about that to a certain degree.
That's right.
But I feel like there was a really good timing for MYM earlier in the mid-game. And now that we've passed that and they continually lose objectives against champions that are considered very strong right now, they're going to have a really tough time. You know, I'm not really convinced that Morgana is a strong pick right now, even after her buffs. She's a situational pick in certain team compositions, and I don't think that at least with the way MYM has played this game out so far, that it's going to work.
Yeah. Well, sorry for that break between time filling. We had to take a little bit of a game, but now we were back to the time filling. Oh, never mind. All right.
A game intermission.
It's a world where the pauses have become the actual content. All right. We're back in the game again.
Wow,
Siege
Libic
on that
just
mid lane
getting
turret.
chunked, has to recall after just 2 spears. This is the danger of Nidalee in the current patch.
She's
and
pretty
here
crazy.
we go. They continue to shove this mid lane up, and Flashwolves have been playing this very well.
Yeah, they have.
Their sieges and rotations have been
Look
timely.
at how clumped up MYM is right now. I mean, they're just asking for a big engage under turret.
And if we look at the way Mockler's building too, you know, he's going for what Crepo likes to call, you know, that Legolas build.
Yep.
Having the armor penetration, and I guess we're going to have
pause.
another pause right here. But with the Bloodthirster into Last Whisper, you have that burst damage. You have that ability to shoot people with the piercing arrow. But again, it's a lack of sustained damage. The burst damage comes in.
Yeah. And this time we had Sword Art leaving the game, so all sorts of stuff going on here. But we're back. We're back to the pauses. Okay, good. We got some game in there, but now we're back to what we know and love. This feels like home.
It is. It does.
That's right. As you can see, it's gotten a little bit darker in the studio. They've turned off some of the lights. The mood is getting a little bit more romantic now.
That's right. Romantic
true.
and dramatic.
That's right. Dromantic.
Dramatic. That's how I like. That's how I like my
Dramatic.
dates.
Dromantic. It's true. A little bit of action, a little bit of loving, a little bit of drama, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's romantic.
Edge
Beautiful
of your seat
Kunshan,
excitement.
China. What?
Edge of your seat excitement.
That's right. Edge of your seat romance. It's like an Adam Sandler romantic comedy. No, never mind.
That's not how I like my life,
Tonight.
Noah.
A little bit of violence, a little bit of annoying voices. There you go. The Adam Sandler formula. Well, one fan's just tired of this. He's like, I'm 60 years old. I'm done with this game. Goodbye. And so,
It looks like some more problems with the Flash Wolves.
I think so too.
Oh,
well,
we're back in the game
Well,
now.
Sword Art, yeah. Sword Art recalling. And the siege in mid lane has kind of stalled out a bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to recall. MYM may be able to take a tower off of this.
they
And there's
should
not
be
a
able
lot
to.
there, but Peacemaker doing some
Oh,
clearing.
look at that
Sword Art
lockup
gets
on
caught
Sword Art.
and blown
Very
up.
nice.
Kuban helping out.
Yeah, Wayne gets chopped by the box a little bit after that play, but they're not able to quite capitalize on it. Nice pick, though. Taking down Sword Art. And I mean, the thing is, MYM showing that they still do have, even if they don't have a lot of sustained damage in fights, they still have some pretty decent bursts because of that, Legolas build on Magner.
Yeah, they really have to continue to try and make picks right here and punish any kind of rotations, but
Yeah.
they're slowly getting back vision control over this mid lane. But if we look at their jungle right now, just warded to high hell. So they have to go back. I mean, really, Libic right now needs to use that Oracle to do some decent clearing. Sword Art now coming out of the gates has another Oracle of his own in order to help out. So the siege just reversing again.
Oh, here we go. Will they be able to get this tier 2 turret this time? Wayne gets locked up a little bit. They're not going to be able to quite capitalize on that. Sorry,
there's
took a big hit from that spear.
Yeah, poke from the ace in the hole too, just so helpful. Use that while you're sieging, while you have time to channel that. Chunk somebody off the tower, and then continue to deal damage. They have gotten the tier 2 down to 50% now after that last wave.
Yeah, they have. Well, so far, Team Flashwolves trying to finish it off. Sounds like a game finished on the other stage.
All right.
Libic, a or a really quick grab onto Stake. Stake over the wall, point blank. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, this tower though, there's
Oh,
Libic nearly dying from a spear. Maple managed to sneak that one in there right around the corner. And they continue to press forward here. They've probably only got one more wave. Ow, that was a really early use of abilities by Morgana right there before the wave even got there, and they will take the tower and then rapidly rotate up into this top lane. The Flash Wolves looking good in terms of their game plan.
They're looking really, really solid. I mean, they came into this game with a plan, and they've executed it nearly flawlessly, and there just has not been a lot MYM has been able to do about it. And I mean, I think we have seen some mistakes from MYM as well. Like you said, I mean, the composition, a little bit suspect, and the use of ultimates kind of the key to some of the defeats and some of the team fight, just not having those crucial abilities available when you need them.
I mean, we saw...
Oh, Maple did get grabbed, though. Pretty big. Gets locked up by Morgana as well. Immediate Cataclysm, though, to zone out the team. Mokata comes in, gets stunned by Stake, has to back up in a turret. Think he wanted to try to ult Maple, but wasn't able to quite get in there.
Yeah, but look at this. I mean, they're just going to heal up now with Nidalee. There's not a lot they can do. Just tanking the turret with Tibbers right now, continuing to get poke off.
Yeah, Libic gets hit again.
There's the ultimate.
Kuban comes in the flash. Cleansed by NL, gets out of it. Kuban goes on very quickly. Mokata in the back lines, not able to get Maple down all the way. And so now NL and the rest of the team are going to be able to kite back, and we'll see if they can win the fight. A nice Q over the top from Mackler takes a big chunk out of the whole team, and Mokata comes in again. Oh, man, but they turn and blow him up. State gets grabbed by the death sentence.
Libic really didn't want to go in there. NL still moving forward. Can he take this out? Shoots a Peacemaker over the wall. Doesn't hit the Peacemaker.
Stake a little bit overly bold there. Oh, man, the cues from Mackler getting really scary with the health totals. Maple just lurking on the outside. And
okay, but here's the problem, though. You know, we saw those teams go pretty darn even in that team fight, but yoeFlash Wolves are still up. There's no map pressure that's going to come out of this, I don't think, from MYM. And, I mean, all their ultimates, all their summoners were used once again. They need those flashes, they need those ults in order to survive, and they're just not getting them. In fact, they're just not even going to get the mid tower right here.
Yeah.
Pings on Dragon, but if the Flash Wolves push out in group right now, what they should do is push mid, rotate to drag, and then clean up that big wave in bot.
That's exactly
and if
what
they
they're doing.
do that, I mean, there's nothing that...
Zara's in big trouble. There's Ace in the hole. They grab him. Don't get the QA combo because of the shield. A little bit of a miss there from way in. Dark Binding doesn't quite hit anybody. And so far, good zoning over the top from the Flash Wolves. Can they pick up the Dragon, though?
Yeah, they should be able to do it.
They'd be able to, yeah.
I mean, Mockler's ult is still down right now. They have every opportunity. Tibbers will be up in just a few seconds.
Yep. All right, well, the Dragon being taken right now by the Flash Wolves. They should be able to get it. Libic coming in from the outside. Spears over the top, and they are going to just disengage, so maybe Flash Wolves feeling a little bit less confident now. Dragon, does get taken by the blue team. William gets it. Nice Cataclysm over the top. Mokata there as well. Tibbers comes down with the Sun. Kuban over the top trying to jump onto Maple. He's getting very low in the back. Meanwhile, Zaru doing some damage, but Stake causing so many problems in that back line. The shutdown onto Mackler, and Zaru has to run for it after that Dark Binding. So and 1 for 2 so far, and the Dragon. Kuban gets caught. Another stun from Andy comes in. Sword Art doing some damage there. The spear barely misses, and NL finishes him off with the Peacemaker.
NL's positioning has been fantastic this game, by the way. And also a little bit of suspect target calling right here, because in the team fights, they really have been focusing on Maple, but Maple's mobility allows him to get chunked and get out. But NL is virtually untouched despite having an Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer. You know, if you're going to go and make a pick, Maple's great. He can stop poking you. But if you want to eliminate the sustained damage in a fight, you have to take NL out right now. And they're just not focusing on him at all.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, you definitely are going to want to pick Sword Art over Maple as well, too, because Andy is so easy to blow up. And that stun, so crucial, like laying a pick, laying a trap for Annie is going to make a huge difference in team fights, but no, they're going after the Nidalee.
Well, there's really no excuse for it either, because it's not like NL has sustain. He doesn't have a Vampiric Scepter.
Yeah.
He's coming out of these battles with nearly full HP, which means that nobody's hitting him at all.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really even have any lifesteal. Maple coming in for this blue buff. And so, the lead grows ever larger for the Flash Wolves. 41,000 gold to just 34. They're about 7K up right now. And now Baron becomes a point of contention. Flash Wolves throwing down some wards. They've had good vision control nearly all game. And again, Sword Art has had that Oracles for quite a while. And it's just so hard for MYM to even put themselves in a position where picks are a possibility.
Yeah, they're really not right now, because with the second turret, the last remaining one up, they can take over that red side jungle and simultaneously get Baron pressure and turret pressure. So they should be feeling really good about this. They've made it so dangerous for MYM to play out this game.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, Kuban, look at that. Already takes some damage. Does manage to dodge the ace in the hole with that repel. Takes the Dark Passage out of there. Ooh. Dark Binding misses. There goes the Tier 2 turret. It's now 6-1 turret-wise in favor of the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, now they can push mid if they want to. I wonder if they're going to send somebody bot to deal with this wave. I would suggest they just try and... Oh, they're going to try and make a pick instead.
Okay.
Being a little tricky. Makate might fall for it. There is a ward in that brush.
He's in that ward. They're going to jump onto Makate, walking right into it. They didn't even need to engage. Oh, man. That was brutal.
And look at this, pushing out again. Right into the tower.
Oh, Steak gets caught, though. Not sticking with the team. Has to pop his ultimate early. Sword Art comes back to zone a little bit. He has that stun available. Steak gets away. Still very tanky. They're going to console themselves with this turret on the top. Goes down before any fight can be initiated. And that inhibitor in trouble, too. Timber's stun onto Kuban. Sword Art gets flayed in. Libic's still in a little bit of trouble. And Zaru coming in with the ultimate, trying to get those chains done, but just takes way too much damage way too quickly. The Cataclysm zoning well. They're actually just going to take this inhibitor and back off. Look at that, 50% of Mackler's health taken off with that spear from Maple. The damage is just so big. I mean...
And NL's positioning is just so good. You'll notice how well he's been using his cleanse and flash also in order to reposition himself in these team fights and keep the auto attacks raining in. Maple actually finds a bad place to pour it out, gets hit by the piercing arrow, and that'll delay him just a few more seconds. But all in all, very nice play this game from the Yoe Flash Wolves. It makes you wonder what we could have seen from them at the World Championship, because they are playing a very good game of League of Legends.
Yeah, they're looking really, really good. It looks like MYM finally going to take that Tier 1 mid turret. Back off a little bit. It's not exactly the closest game ever right now. MYM, you know, having a, I guess you could say a ghost of a chance, but if the Flash Wolves keep playing like they have been, it's going to be very difficult for MYM to close it out.
I like how the Flash Wolves also aren't really Baron dancing right now, because their composition is so much, not to say they can't do Baron quickly, because they can do it relatively quickly at medium speed, I would say.
There's not a big need right now.
No, there's not a big need, and also their success is in their sieges.
Yeah.
And with their repeated sieges, the ability for them to poke out their opponents, why not use your composition for what you're really good at, which is sitting in front of turret, raining in those spears, raining in those peacemakers, and the auto attacks from Caitlyn, setting up a trap line so you can't be engaged on. It's just nice play from the Flash Wolves and an optimal playstyle for their position in this game and for their team comp.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about League and when you think about Baron, I mean, there always should be a reason to take Baron aside from because it's there. If because it's there is the only reason, it's not good. The stun comes on to Mackler under turret, gets shielded, manages to live through it. Does have to pop that barrier, though. Tibbers tanking those turret hits. They're going to get it, and they will. This could be the second inhibitor coming up for the Flash Wolves. Cocoon gets dodged by Maple. Still trying to focus on Maple with those stuns. State gets locked up with that Dark Binding, but that's not going to save the inhibitor. There it goes. 2 inhibitors down now. Kuban chasing. Look at the damage from the spears. I mean, Vi, one of those champions that can be very good, but if you don't have a good start, if you don't get a couple kills early on, item-wise, she falls way far behind and becomes way too squishy to go in.
Well, Maple is just out of control right now. I mean, if we look at his items, already completing his Death Cap and his Void Staff, there isn't anyone who's going to be able to stand on this. They've got such good... They have mixed damage poke coming out of Caitlyn, coming out of Nidalee. There's no good way to itemize against this if you're MYM right now.
You know, it's true, and Zaru comes into the big ultimate. Makade over the top as well, trying to get that lockdown onto Sword Art. They do get the kill. Makade is still going to the back lines. Look at NL with the cleanse. Can he kite out of this? He can with the double kill already. They do manage to take down Kuban as well. Mackler, the only one left aside from Libic, who throws down that lantern, but a little bit too late. And now I've got a feeling we're going to see a push for the win. Maple jumps in for the triple kill, and this is certainly going to be game in favor of the Flash Wolves.
I mean, Maple doing such a good job of spamming those heals on NL as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, NL has just had a fantastic game so far.
No kidding, man. If this was Champions, I would say he'd be a shoo-in for MVP.
Yeah, very impressive play from the AD carry for the Yoe Flash Wolves.
Yeah, GG. The Nexus goes down, and the Yoe Flash Wolves take down MYM in style. Solid win for those guys.
Definitely. Really nice way of them to play out their comp, to make those clean rotations and good individual play all the way around. And they pretty much dictated the pace of that game from start to finish with the early ring of turrets, and then